Hey everyone, Regal Reviews here. It is White Rice Wednesday, which means time for another Survivor recap. So to recap on tonight's episode, they're all dealing with Debbie going home last week. I'm so sad about that, but I thought it was really bold because Sarah openly admitted that she was the one that flipped, and that, like I mentioned, that was a bold move. I'm thinking, now are people gonna like turn on her now, or are people gonna see Sarah as shady? I'm not sure. So then, with the reward challenge this week, it is actually one of my favorite challenges. Back to last season, the Millennials versus Gen X season, where people had to go through the obstacle, and like about four people had to hold this rope while you're sitting in this chair, and they had to um pull you up to get these numbers that have a puzzle piece in it to solve a puzzle at the end. And this time Michaela got to participate in the challenge, so there's no complaints this week. So it was kind of, I wouldn't say it was neck and neck for a while. The blue team, which consisted of Culpepper, Aubrey, Andrea, Zeke, and Sarah, they were ahead for a while. The red team was kind of falling behind, and Michaela was yelling at Ty because I guess Ty was getting too close to her. And I'm like, this is what she does in challenges. That's she like yells at people, and that's not going to help people participate better in the challenges. It's going to make them more nervous and more likely to mess up. So, um, they were struggling, and they both get to the puzzle. They all get to, yeah, both teams get to the puzzle piece, and it takes them almost an hour to try to figure it out. And then it was actually the blue team who finally got it. So the blue team got to go on reward, and they played for an overnight stay at this Fiji resort, and they got to have chicken wraps and cheesecake there. And that's gonna feel like heaven to these people because they're out there for like 39 days. So I think they're on day 29, I believe. So to have that must have felt really good to them. And Culpepper and Zeke seem to have good conversation, but Andrea's like throwing a fit because Zeke's talking to somebody else. I mean, she still cannot let go of the fact that um that Zeke tried to get her out. I mean, it's a game. Like she's like complaining and whining about this the whole time. I mean, to me it's not making her look good. So, and what, Zeke can't talk to anybody else in the game besides that alliance? I mean, he should be able to talk to whoever he wants to. I mean, not just Zeke, but anybody should be able to talk to whoever they want to. And back at camp, they're all tired. They're, um, jealous they got to go on the reward. But we see, people wanting to make some moves, and Sarah also makes another bold move by telling Cirie that she has the advantage where she can steal vote from somebody. And I keep thinking to myself, is Cirie just gonna go and tell Andrea this now? Like what happened the other week with Sierra telling Andrea? She didn't. I mean, as far as we know, she didn't. But Andrea is desperate to get out Zeke because of that event. And Cirie is not so sure that that's the best move at the moment they should make. And people are trying to figure out final five spots here. I think Sarah and Zeke had a conversation that they want to pull in Troyzan, Culpepper, and Zeke said he wants to go to the end of Michaela. Now, I'm not a Michaela fan at all, but I definitely think it would be a smart move to take her to the end because of her outbursts and her attitude. I don't think she would be. I definitely don't think she would win against the other four in the 5-person alliance. So I definitely think taking Michaela to the end would be a smart move. Um, so yeah, with the immunity challenge, it's a dominoes challenge. You basically just have to stack the dominoes, but it makes it complicated because it's at a like a trip. I call it a trip trap because you have to stack these dominoes in line and you have to get enough to the end that when you put down the first domino, it makes it and hits it falls over and hits the gong, I guess. And if they make a sudden movement, the whole thing falls apart. And it was neck and neck there for quite a while between Sierra, Andrea, Sarah, Culpepper. I believe Aubrey was also in that too. But everyone was doing good there. But it really was coming down to Andrea, Sarah, and Sierra because Culpepper bumped and lost all of his dominoes. And Andrea at first made it to the end, but she was came up short, so she had to restack her dominoes. And oh, it was Michaela. Sorry, Michaela was also in that too. And I actually thought Michaela was gonna win this immunity challenge. I definitely thought she was gonna um win this, but it actually ended up being Andrea who won immunity. And people were like really close in this challenge. So now Andrea has all the power. So now she's trying to rally the troops to get rid of Zeke, and but other people want to get rid of Sierra to just pick off the bottom alliance one by one. And Sierra's been a big threat in the game. I mean, she's definitely proved herself as a game changer from her previous season. She's had control up until this point, so why not take off one of the so why not take off one of the main alliance members in the Ever tribe? And Suri and Andrea are talking, and of course Andrea wants to get rid of Zeke. And Sierra comes and tries to make a case saying that she'll vote for whoever they want her to, and that they just need a minute to talk. That's what Suri told Sierra. So they're talking and thinking that they should get rid of Zeke, and they share that with Michaela, and Michaela doesn't think that's a smart move because if they vote off Zeke, one of their alliance members, then it's 5-4, which means it only takes one person to flip for Brad and Sierra's alliance to be back in the majority again. So now if Sarah's original idea is right, then she can flip and she'll be in the majority alliance again, which is a brilliant move on her part. And I definitely have to agree with Michaela's logic on that because why not just get rid of, if you want to keep your alliance strong six, why not just pick off the lower alliance one by one? So Zeke goes to Culpepper and tells him he wants to be in the final five with them and he wants to work with them. So Brad thinks that his talk with Zeke at the reward challenge worked. But at the tribal council, Sarah reveals again that she was the one who flipped and sent Debbie home, and Debbie flips her off. And I mean, I'm a Sarah fan, but I thought that was so funny. And there's a lot of talk at tribal. Michaela mentions how mentions somewhat about what I said before about why not try to keep your alliance strong now instead of trying to make a big move. And even Zeke mentioned that, saying why there's basically a time and a place to make a big move, and this doesn't seem like the time to make those big moves. It seems like the time to make the easy moves right now. And Michaela also says that after 39 days you could be friends with these people, but right now you're playing for yourself, and basically the relationships you have basically relationships you have can make or break. They can either take you to the end or they could be the reason why you don't get to the end. And right then and there, I'm thinking, oh God, Zeke is in trouble because the camera immediately went right to Sarah. So I thought it was interesting because Ty's name didn't come up at all, but I saw one person put his name down. I'm like, was he just like a decoy or something? And when Jeff's reading the votes, I at first thought, would Sarah play her advantage to steal a vote? And when she didn't, I'm like, oh, Zeke's doomed. But then I saw Ty's name come up like at least 3 times, and I'm like, why is his name coming up? I didn't even hear his name mentioned once. And then, sure enough, it ended up being Zeke that went home, and Michaela basically had the same reaction I did. I was sad. Zeke was one of my picks to win, and I'm sad to see him go, but I'm not like the people who, when Ozzy got voted off, these people were whining and complaining and saying, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Ozzy deserves to win because they're so in love with the man bun, pretty face Survivor people who they only see them for their looks. They don't see them for the awful people they are. But, I definitely think Zeke has come a long way, especially what he went through this season. And he said it best himself at the end of his exit video, saying that Survivor made him a better person, it made him a stronger person. I definitely think we could all learn a lot from Zeke. Zeke said it well this season. He basically said Survivor, when you're out there, it's like Mount Everest. Like, it gets harder each day you play the game. And I can definitely see that because it's easy. Survivor's not easy, but the first couple days it seems like easy. But then as you get to the merge, that's when the games begin and the real work happens. So yeah, and what I thought was interesting at the end, Michaela was crying and everything, but she ended up voting for Zeke. So I don't know why she had that reaction, but yet she voted for him. I mean, I guess maybe she felt bad for voting for him, or maybe she's just sad to see someone like Zeke go. And then Sarah also voted for Zeke, and I think it had a lot to do with Michaela's speech. And yeah, I definitely was wondering about Andrea this season because in her past seasons she wasn't one of my favorites, but I didn't not like her. I thought she was I liked her during Redemption Island, and then when she was on Caramoan, I thought she was too flirty with the boys and everything and was annoying. And this season, I'm starting to dislike her a bit more because she seems a lot like how Sierra was during her first season. Like how when Lindsay got voted off, that's all she talked about the whole game was how she was betrayed. She whined and moaned and complained about it the whole time, and it really just made her look like an annoying person, and that's what I'm seeing with Andrew. I mean, that's my feeling, that she just seems so annoying. Like, we have to get rid of Zeke. Oh my God, he betrayed me. This is ridiculous. I'm like, it's a game. Just get over it already. So, next week, it's one of my favorite episodes of Survivor. It's the Loved Ones visit, and it makes me sadder that Zeke's gone because one of my favorite moments from last season, Millennials versus Gen X, was when Zeke's dad came out. I was hoping to see his dad come out again because I thought the moment when Zeke's dad says, "This is my hero, Jeff. This is who I look up to, model my behavior." I thought that moment was priceless. So I'm sad that he didn't get his dad doesn't get to come out for the Loved Ones visit again. But I'm also excited to see other people experience the Loved Ones visit for the first time, and that makes me wish Debbie would have got to experience the Loved Ones visit. And what was also funny about Debbie is at the end when they all picked up their torches and went back to camp, they're like, she says Survivor game changers and like idiots, and I'm like, I agree with Debbie. I kind of think that they're making the votes too personal and not thinking about their future in the game. They're just basing their votes on emotions. And Yeah. So I'm definitely looking forward to next week's episode, and I hope you guys enjoyed Survivor tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed my recap, and if you guys want to check out Survivor, it is on Wednesdays, 8 p.m. on CBS. Until next time, stay regal.